Have you ever seen your phone ring, and instead of answering it, your heart starts beating faster? You look at the screen. It could be a friend, it could be family, it could be nothing serious. But still, you let it ring. Later, you might even text them and say, "Sorry, I missed your call." But the truth is, you didn't miss it. You avoided it. If this sounds like you are not weird. You are not lazy. You are not broken. There is a deep psychological reason behind this behavior. And today, we're going to explore it. In today's world, people send thousands of texts every year. But phone calls, they're disappearing. Many people say, "I hate phone calls. I feel nervous when my phone rings. I'd rather text than talk." And yet, most of them don't know why. They think, "I'm just bad at talking. I'm antisocial. I'm awkward." But psychology tells a different story. Avoiding phone calls is not random. It's not meaningless. It's your brain trying to protect you. And once you understand what's really happening inside your mind, you may never look at phone calls the same way again. The human brain hates one thing more than almost anything else: uncertainty. When your phone rings, your brain instantly asks, "Who is calling? Why are they calling? Is something wrong? Do they need something from me? Will I have to explain myself? Will it be awkward?" A text message answers some of these questions before you even respond. A call does not. A call throws you straight into the unknown. And for many people, this triggers anxiety. Not panic, not fear. Just a subtle discomfort that whispers, "Don't answer." Your brain is designed to avoid unpredictable situations. In ancient times, uncertainty meant danger. Today, uncertainty means emotional risk. And emotional risk feels just as real to your nervous system. Texting gives you time. You can think, edit, delete, rewrite, wait. Phone calls don't give you that luxury. When someone calls, they expect an immediate response. Your brain suddenly feels rushed, cornered, exposed. There is no pause button. For people who think deeply, this is exhausting. They don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't want to sound awkward. They don't want to disappoint. So their brain chooses the safer option. Avoid. This isn't weakness, this is self-protection. On a phone call, you can't hide. Your voice reveals nervousness, hesitation, emotion. Even silence can feel loud. Many people are okay with being misunderstood in text, but being misunderstood in real time, that feels painful. So they avoid the situation altogether. Not because they hate people, but because they care too much. Texting gives you control. Control over timing, tone, words, emotion. Control makes the brain feel safe. Phone calls remove that control. You don't know what's coming. You don't know how long it will last. You don't know how emotional it will get. Your brain doesn't like that, so it avoids it. Many people who avoid phone calls think they are lazy. They say, "I should just answer. It's not a big deal. Why am I like this?" But psychology shows us something important. Avoidance is often not laziness. It's emotional overload. Your brain is tired. Your nervous system is sensitive. Your mind is overstimulated, so it chooses peace over pressure. In the past, phone calls were normal, but today our brains are already overwhelmed. Notifications, news, social media, messages, work pressure. Our mental space is full, so when a call comes in, it feels like an intrusion, not because we hate the person, but because our brain is already tired. Millions of people experience this. They smile in texts, they joke in chats, they share memes. But calls, they drain them. And that's okay, because different brains need different environments to feel safe. When people hear the word anxiety, they imagine panic attacks or shaking hands. But anxiety isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. It's that uncomfortable feeling in your chest when your phone rings. It's that urge to wait before replying. It's that voice that says, "I'll call later." For many people, phone calls trigger anticipatory anxiety. This means you feel anxious before something even happens. Your brain starts predicting, what if it's awkward? What if I don't know what to say? What if I disappoint them? What if it turns into a long conversation? And your nervous system reacts as if the threat is already real. So it says, avoid, not because you're scared of the person, but because you're scared of how the interaction will make you feel. Overthinkers don't hate phone calls. They hate the mental storm that comes with them. Before the call, they imagine every possible topic. During the call, they analyze every word they say. After the call, they replay everything. Did I sound weird? Why did I pause there? Did I say something wrong? Their brain never rests. So when they see an incoming call, their mind says, this will cost me too much mental energy. And once again, they avoid. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Introverts are not shy. They are not antisocial. They are not weak. They simply process the world differently. Extroverts gain energy from interaction. Introverts lose energy from too much stimulation. Phone calls are intense. There's no break, no pause, no slow thinking. It's direct, immediate, demanding. So for introverts, phone calls feel like emotional weightlifting. Not impossible, just tiring. Texting feels like walking. Calling feels like sprinting. Your brain also remembers emotional tones. If you grew up in an environment where voices meant conflict, where calls meant problems, where talking meant pressure, then your brain learned a pattern. Calls equal stress. So even when nothing is wrong, your nervous system reacts as if something is. Your brain doesn't remember facts, it remembers feelings. Some people avoid phone calls not because of personality, but because of past emotional experiences. Maybe calls always meant arguments. Maybe they meant bad news. Maybe they meant being blamed or misunderstood. So the brain learned, calls equal danger. Now even a harmless ring can activate a stress response. Not because you're broken, but because you had to be alert to survive emotionally. Humans crave control, not power, but predictability. Texting gives you that. Phone calls take it away. They force you into the moment. For some brains, that feels unsafe. On text, silence is normal. On calls, silence feels heavy. Many people fear pauses. They feel like they are failing socially. That pressure creates stress, and stress creates avoidance. Phone calls require full presence. You can't hide, you can't disappear. For emotionally sensitive people, this feels like standing under a spotlight, so they step back. When you ignore a call, your anxiety drops. Your brain says, "Good job. You escaped." So the cycle repeats. Avoid, feel relief. Avoid again. Not because it's healthy, but because it feels safe. We live in a world of constant input. Some brains get overwhelmed. Avoiding calls is sometimes just the brain saying, "I need quiet." Society tells us calls are respectful and texts are lazy. But that's outdated. Communication is not about format. It's about comfort. Avoiding calls doesn't mean avoiding people. It means choosing peace. People who avoid calls are often deep thinkers, emotionally aware, sensitive, empathetic. They feel more, so they protect themselves more. Your brain is not trying to sabotage you. It's trying to keep you emotionally safe. But safety and growth are not the same, and that's what we'll talk about next.